Today's episode is brought to you by Netflix. For a free 30-day trial, just head on over to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV.
GameBreaker TV.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to This Week in MMO, episode 170 for November 22nd, 2013. You're watching GameBreaker TV. I'm Gary Gannon. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about the MMOs on the consoles. That's right, Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Also, Star Citizen has all the monies and EverQuest next. A little more EverQuest next stuff. Joining me, as always, Mr. Jason Winter. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Can we move on quickly?
Quick. Why?
No
Wait,
no reason.
rush.
You want to get this?
Rush.
You want to get the show over? I mean, it's a good show.
Yeah.
No reason.
We're gonna talk.
What do you?
We're gonna talk about MMOs.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I have something to do after the show.
Why are you trying to rush the show, bro? Half people are totally confused right now. There might be something going on that starts at the exact moment pretty much this show starts that gamers, especially fans of this show, might be slightly excited for that we cannot confirm nor deny.
Okay, move it along.
It has something to do with the letters ADN. ADN.
Nation.
Dan?
Ad Nation.
Who's Dan?
Ad
It's
Nation.
a new game. Ad Nation.
So, all right, Jason, show's over.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's talk about, so obviously this week the big news is the console stuff, right? And we always talk about MMOs here, but man, Xbox is now launched, PlayStation 4 is launched. Am I the only one that bought one of the consoles? I bought a PS4. I have a PS4.
I bought one and then I sold it immediately.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Lack.
I bought one.
What was your decision for getting rid of it? Lack of launch titles and pushbacks?
Lack of games. It was one of those things. I don't want to stay on the topic too long, but it's literally one of those moments where I bought the PlayStation for Watch Dogs. That was I bought it. Actually, no. I take that back. I bought it because the PlayStation. I wanted it. I was like, I can finally, I can finally go ahead and be one of the first people to get the new console. It'll be great. And then I started looking through the games, and I was like, there's not really much, but Watch Dogs will be cool. That's awesome. So I was like, all right, at least I can justify the purchase, and I'll get Watch Dogs. And then Watch Dogs got delayed, and I started looking through the titles again, and I was just literally
not a whole heck of a lot.
I'm gonna buy this PlayStation and put it in my closet and not touch it. So it was one of those things where it's just like, why? Especially because the first generation that comes out is typically buggy and has problems. They usually come out with a little bit stronger of a version.
You're gonna wait for the second version of the actual hardware. You're not gonna do that. Second Destiny comes out.
I'm gonna wait.
Beta Destiny's like in March, and come on, bro. You're gonna probably have it.
Destiny will potentially be a reason that I go out and buy it. Or Final Fantasy 15 or Kingdom Hearts, but I think those are at least next year, late next year. So I just didn't have a reason. Destiny is one of those reasons, but to me it didn't feel like I needed that launch day console.
I kind of had the same syndrome.
By the time Destiny comes out, I'll find it at Walmart. They'll be all over the place.
I had the same syndrome yet. I didn't cancel it. I kept it, but I kind of sat there contemplating it for a bit, and I wasn't really sure, and I was on the fence. And the one game that kind of teetered for me was Assassin's Creed, and I know I could play it on PC now, all the same, and I am more of a PC gamer, but I was like, you know what, I kind of want to play that game. I like pirates. I dig pirates. I got Killzone as well, and that's kind of a disappointment for me. But Jason, are you a console gamer at all?
I used to be. I mean, I was a big, old school Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and so on. I got the PS1, PS2. I never even got a PS3 or a 360. But that was around the time when I really got into PC gaming and just never really went back. I saw all the stuff at the E3 and all the different things we've been seeing for months, and they looked really good. I was really excited about the PS4, and kind of the same thing. Some of the games looked really good, but just none of them are out now. So
what about coming? I thought it was you first, Jason. About coming at it from sort of a non-console gamer, you're kind of falling out of the loop for a while. You're more of a PC gamer, and you're obviously an MMO player. What do you think about the whole the new crop of MMOs coming up though that are coming out on the PS4 and the Xbox? You've got Destiny, you've got Final Fantasy XIV, you've got The Division. I mean, Elder Scrolls Online. How could I forget that one?
Gee, I don't know why you bring that up today.
I have no idea, but I don't know. Do you think any of those could bring you back into console gaming?
Well, certainly not, because those are all available on PC as well, or will be available for games that aren't out yet. But in terms of, could they be something that someone who doesn't want to get a PC but still wants to get into MMOs would be interested in? On that level, I guess maybe, but it's, if you're, I guess you'd have to be sort of a semi-casual MMO fan. I just don't know about the hardcore 30 hours a week raid all the time guys are going to get it just
I
for
have to say
consoles.
though, but am I wrong in saying Destiny is not a PC at this point?
I don't
Isn't
think
it?
so.
I do not believe that there's any kind of. I mean, I don't think they've totally said no, but I don't think it's in the plan. So I think it's a pretty much PS4 Xbox game with PS4 getting the beta exclusive. So
I think what we're seeing here with these games that we're getting, Division and gosh, what was that awesome racing game that we saw at E3? It's like you get the crew.
That game was
even
terrible.
Elder Scrolls. What's that?
The game really didn't feel that good. I played it at E3 and I was really let down.
Just to play it.
I was really let down by it.
But I mean, I think that the concept of MMO is starting to bleed over into what we're seeing on consoles in that way, shape, or form. Even Destiny itself, we're classifying it as an MMO. But after speaking with some of the developers, I don't get the feeling that it's really going to be the MMO that the World of Warcraft, the Star Wars, the Old Republic, the Guild Wars players are used to. I don't think it's going to be an MMO in that convention. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Okay, but let's hold right there. I want to ask you, like, but could it be sort of the MMO that may actually be something that a lot of players, including someone like yourself, is looking for? Something different,
it's great.
Something, with smaller groups of players. Maybe, maybe it's not the same experience, but maybe that's
the console player. The console players are those buddy, like, we have this era of time where LAN parties were huge, and we would all bring our Xboxes and link up together and play Halo on the couch with one another. And then we kind of got separated from that as Xbox Live became a thing. It was almost like the LFR of console MMOs, of the multiplayer experiences. The accessibility of the random matchmaking became easy, and you straight away, I mean, sure, you might grab 2 or 3 of your friends to jump in a match together, but it wasn't as buddy like working together. And what they're doing, I think, here with the Division and Destiny, they're creating these environments that are going to open up again to, even though I'm in my room and you're in your room, it's going to feel a little bit more connected, and it's going to bring back a little bit of that feeling of, like, I'm sitting on the couch, my couch, with my friend who's just, I don't know, like, it bring back that community for that type of player base. Because it's something that existed for a while and then kind of disappeared and is now seeing a little bit of a resurgence. But I don't think that what we're going to see on these consoles, at least right now, and granted, people will say, well, you got Final Fantasy XIV on the PlayStation 4. Yes, I think there will be exceptions, but I think that the tech that we're going to see translated over to the console gamer, who is a completely different gamer than the MMO gamer, is going to be a much more casual, multiplayer-focused environment to immerse yourself in, not really an ever-persistent living world.
I'm gonna just Elder Scrolls is that really not gonna be that? Final Fantasy 14 we know is that? I mean, so we know about 4 MMOs coming out, and 2 of them, so 50% of them are kind of like MMOs that we, the hardcore MMO players, would play on a PC. So that's kind of a good ratio.
I agree with what he says. I think those are going to be more the exception than the rule. Games like that, and also DC Universe Online, which is on now.
Yeah, there's another one.
Yeah, I know, but they're going to. I guess Elder Scrolls sort of does.
You can't, as console gaming gets bigger, let's not pretend like those games. Yes, we have them because the ratio of what games are out on the console right now is very small. But as the console's lifespan goes on, those games will still be there, but they aren't going to be the majority. We're going to see more things.
Here's another
like a Borderlands style multiplayer.
All right, but then to kind of bring this back around, like, are either of you not? Because I'm kind of looking forward to a bit of a different experience, and maybe I'm kind of looking forward to maybe not having this insanely immersive world that you need to play like a gajillion hours per week. I mean, like as people start getting a little bit older and they, you know, have things like a job or maybe kids or things like that. I don't know, the idea of being able to grab a controller, sit back and play the type of games that we've all come to love, MMOs, in a bit more of a, I hate to use the word casual because it doesn't have to be casual, but in kind of a little bit more of that atmosphere and feeling, I'm really looking forward to it.
Gary, when did you become me? That's the argument I've been making for like 6 months now. Like, it's not all just people spending 100 hours a week and whatever. But yeah, I agree. That is what a lot of people are doing. And in that way, it sort of feeds into what Mike is saying. It's going to be more of a get-together buddy thing than a find 20 random people to go on a raid with sort of thing, where you have to grind
look
out
at Elder
the
Scrolls,
gear
right?
levels and so on and so forth. Yeah.
They're doing what? 4-man raids, right? That's like maximum number in Elder Scrolls, 4-man. Again, like to me, it's like,
But
you know,
that to that player, just to counteract that, to the Elder Scrolls player, the idea of going into a Skyrim-esque dungeon with 3 other people is
that's
a
awesome.
Massive amount of people.
Yeah,
and
but that's what I'm saying. Like you say that, and it said like they're different people though. Like I'm an Elder Scrolls player. Like I'm a Skyrim player. So, and I remember as soon as Skyrim came out, the first thing I said was, "Wow, I wish I could be playing this with my buddy." Like this is such an awesome experience, and I love Skyrim. I'm like, wow, I wish my buddy could be in here and we could be chatting about this and having this adventure together, which is like obviously what, you know, it seems like Elder Scrolls is kind of going for here. So I don't know if it's so separated. I don't know. You ride these lines of like this type of player and this type of player, and like, but on this panel right here, and it's like you play console games. You don't really play console games anymore, Jason, but I don't know. I don't really know if it's that different of the type of player.
I think it's very much, again, I think we're talking from a biased standpoint because even you yourself are a mix of the two, but I've got plenty of people that I play console games with that would never even consider touching an MMO. I live with friends from college who have heard me talking about World of Warcraft for going on 6 years now.
It's because they have girlfriends.
And their console... No, actually they don't. Oh wait. Actually, both of them do. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is these are people that I live with that play console games and love them. But they've been my friend for 5 years, and I couldn't get them to touch an MMO if I wanted to. They're completely different types of people.
And I think I think you speak to that, Gary, with what you were saying, and that a lot of them are just these sit down, pick up, and play for an hour or so, and don't want that huge in-depth. I won't say not persistent, but this sort of long-time thing where you have to really think about it all the time, even in your off hours. I mean, we've all done this before. I've laid in bed and thought about my build in some game where I'm like, oh, what am I going to do tomorrow? How am I going to get enough ore to get the thing for this? And maybe that's the sort of thing, that kind of long-term planning that, like I said, your typical console player doesn't really want to get into on that level. They just want to go in, shoot up some zombies or drive some cars or whatever, and then move on.
Which I think there's a ton of players out there, and I think you're right. I think for the console players out there not playing an MMO, they have that sort of, MMOs have that sort of stigma or like perception of people who don't play them, like, oh, those are those games that you guys play for, 40, 50, 100 hours a week, and you play them for like years and years. I don't have time for that. What are you kidding me? That's a huge commitment. So I'd rather not even dip my toe into that. So,
and that's why I think that a game like League of Legends has become so popular, is because it allows, and if consoles kind of go in this direction of creating MMO environments like what League does, but creating these opportunities where it's like a 40-minute match, and all you're like, it doesn't matter how much I play or how much you play. I might have more skill than you do, but at the start of every match, we start on an equal playing field, and it lasts for 40 minutes, and then it's over. That drop in, drop out attitude. League is one of the hardcore PC games, but it's the mentality, I think, there of the drop in, drop out that would really work its way into the console players mindset. And I think that if MMOs could go that route on consoles, they would really be able to capitalize on that type of player.
Do you guys think hardcore MMOs could really make a place? I think I'm kind of convinced that the Destinies, Divisions, the kind of games that are a little less like full on, I don't know, for lack of a better word, hardcore MMOs, the things we're used to with keyboards and hot bars and things. Do you think that this new sort of crop of MMOs could really take off in a big way? I think where it gets interesting, and what's going to really be hard to is something like Elder Scrolls. I'm still stuck on the sub fee. for the console player. That's still somewhat of a point of, will the console market understand that to the point that they will adopt it? Like, will it be immersive enough to live in the world of Skyrim to then pay $15 a month for that?
I think what they need to do is they need to bundle it into a mass quantity. Because what they did, for example, with Call of Duty, I know they did it around for Ghosts, but I remember I invested in, a lot of my friends who played Call of Duty all invested in Call of Duty Elite, which was like an extra $100, but you got all of the downloadable content that came out for the next year. And that was essentially just a bulk subscription plan that I bought. Instead of buying the stuff as it came out, I just paid, a buttload up front, and I just got it for free over the next year. So I think that, yes, the stigma of a monthly sub has deterred so many of my friends away. Again, referencing college. I remember being back in college, I made a World of Warcraft documentary, and everyone's like, oh, that game looks really cool. Like, how do I play it? And it's like, oh, you pay $20 for the game and then $15 a month after that. Wait, I got to pay $15 a month? I'm not going to play that game. It's a big problem to them, but you can disguise it in the idea of a mass purchase that happens maybe annually. Because then maybe someone's more apt to actually purchase it. They're already paying $60 for a game in general.
That is a good way to do it. If they do kind of, that is a good way if they bundle it into something like that. And I don't even want to say they're hiding it, but they just sort of market it differently and package it differently. Could be much more in line with what the console player understands as far as the marketing and add-ons and DLC and that sort of thing. So you're right. If they do kind of package it around that, which that kind of makes a lot of sense. One other thing I gotta say though, right now, being the only one here that has a PS4.
And look at me, I'm so cool, I have a PS4.
No, because I know PC gamers, they're always like, we love PCs, and believe me, I still consider myself more of a PC gamer than anything, and of course we can upgrade them and add things like video cards and things like that to make them like, scale over time and stuff. But holy crap, for what was the PS4, like $450, whatever. $450. $450. Assassin's Creed in 1080 looks unreal. Like, I don't think my current PC, honestly, and I've done tests of this, I haven't done any tests, but I kind of don't feel like my current PC, which is fairly new, built it what? I don't know. We built this PC maybe about 6-7 months ago. Maybe it's about a $1,500 like build. I think it's got like an NVIDIA, like, I don't think maybe like a 680 or something in it, like not the 7 series, but it's the last like tier on the 6 series. I don't think my PC could run Assassin's Creed as well as my PS4 is running it. I mean, the frames per second are like just gorgeous, like it's locked. The textures are amazing. The light, there's no slowdown. Like it's an awesome machine. Like there's a huge leap in fidelity. Again, in 2 years.
We were at this point though in I forget the year that PlayStation 3 and Xbox came out. We've been there. Put yourself now 2, 4, 5, 6 years down the road. Now what starts to happen to those games? Because consoles, of course, you said it. You can't upgrade your video card.
No, of course it's going to change over time. But like I'm saying, it's just it's a really rock solid machine right now for a current gen. And I gotta say, I'm like less of a tinkerer these days. Like I don't want to mess with drivers and crap and BS. And I kind of want.
If I ever have to build a PC again,
I kind of want to stick the disc into the slot and just play. I don't know.
And maybe that's not such a bad thing for an MMO because we're used to them being updated and being a little new every now and then, but we're kind of used to that old look of them. I mean, look at World of Warcraft, how that looks being, now 9 years old. Other games that are 4, 5, 6 years old, they're showing their age a little bit, but people still play them. So maybe that's not so much of a disadvantage that, 4 years from now, a PlayStation 4 game is going to look kind of crappy compared to what a PC is, or what you can get for like a top-of-the-line PC. But if you're playing the Elder Scrolls Online in 5 years, it's going to look the same on your PC as it does on the PS4 because it's still going to be the engine that they came out with in 2014. So maybe that's almost a benefit for MMOs on consoles.
Where do you guys think this whole Steambox falls in all of this? Because I think this is like one of the most brilliant things by Valve to do. Because I don't know if you know the structure of how they're doing this, but so the Steambox is basically a tech document that says, here, computer companies, you have to build it like this, and here's the the tech specs you have to adhere to. But we're not making the box at all. Like Valve doesn't make the box. So you put the components together, you build a cool fancy box that you think all the kids will want to buy, and you sell it. We will be the only people to sell the controller for the Steam box, which they could probably make like dirt effing cheap in like some other country and like import those bad boys and sell them, which is brilliant. And plus it's probably going to work on your own PC with SteamOS and things like that. But there's another thing. Do you think I don't think anyone is going to buy a Steam box. I don't know who in their right mind would buy this.
Hey Gary, how much have you used your Ouya?
This is even kind of, that's a paperweight. Yeah, I think I plugged that in about 3 times. But I think Steam box is even like Steam's got the penetration of the market to sell games, right? 68 million people are on Steam. That is a lot of people they can touch. So all those people know how to download games on Steam. I don't know.
But how many?
What's the market?
Honestly, I mean, I get the idea that they're trying to build it for the couch player. I get that, and not everybody has nice, awesome chairs and monitors like this. But honestly, PC players are savvy to this. They're savvy to the idea that, hey, look, USB. Guess what? I'm on my couch. Now I don't need a Steam box. I don't need.
Well, that's my point. Like I'm almost definitely going to buy the controller from Valve for sure. Like I'll buy that and I'll check out the big picture thing. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because they're going for that couch, a little bit more of a distance away from your TV and that couch entertainment feel, as opposed to up in your face PC. But they have said that you're going to be able to upgrade your Steam box, I guess, over time. So I think it's just basically it's a PC. You can upgrade things like the video card and stuff like that. So I don't know, Jason. Would you ever buy anything like that? Would you purchase that?
That's the funny thing is I almost think of it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I can basically sort of get like the PC gaming experience like from my couch on the TV. That's what the Steam box is about, more or less. Yeah. For someone who doesn't want to buy maybe isn't going to be interested in a full console like me, that actually does seem a little appealing, but I think that I'm not really in the majority on that.
But is it essentially because you don't understand what? Because basically, it's a PC with the Steam OS, which is a Linux operating system pre-installed. Which they're also going to offer you the Linux operating system Steam OS for free, I believe, through Steam to just put on your PC. Mm-hmm. So would you buy this box because it's kind of in like a form factor that maybe looks sort of like a set-top box rather than a PC next to, or like tower next to your, in your living room? Like, is that the marketing benefit to the Steam box? Is that it looks like a set-top box and kind of like a console?
It's almost like you're saying. You almost get a little confused just talking about that. Like, is it a console? Is it a PC? Who's it for? Is it for the PC?
Well, they made it look like a console.
Yeah, I know. What it looks like and then what it is, you never know what that's going to be until you actually get your hands on it. So they have the recognition, like you said, but they need maybe better communication to give people a solid idea of what it is, what you can do with it.
See, I don't think they want to get the communication. I don't think they want you to really know what it is. I think they want kids to be like, it looks like a console. It plays PC Steam games. Like, I want it. I buy it. But I don't see the market for this. I think the controller is going to sell like crazy.
I don't find myself wanting to not only have to run upkeep on my PC and swap out parts there, but now you're telling me to go buy another peripheral, another thing that I've got to upgrade other pieces as it gets out of date. Again, I think that if you have the appeal of Steam, if you know the glory that's Steam, you're probably playing it on a PC. But why would you want to create a whole nother world of purchasing for yourself instead of, like I was kind of saying, just keeping it all in your PC? I can upgrade. That way, when I upgrade the parts to play other video games, I'm also upgrading the power to play any of the Steam games. The only thing that I feel like the Steam box is marketing towards, which isn't a bad idea, is the couch player and a controller. But I got my chair, I don't need a couch, and I got my controller.
And now what happens here, and with the Steam box is really interesting, is what happens when the games, you buy a Steam box, and let's just say 12 months down the road, the game companies start making big games that look better, the textures look better, the lighting looks better. Now the Steam box starts chugging along, which is very different than a console. Like a console, these are your confines. You are developing for the PlayStation 4 on the PlayStation 4 development kit. You can't exceed these certain things like the amount of RAM and the processing speed and stuff like that. What happens in a year from now, a Steam box with little Johnny's like, oh my God, this thing was awesome. And then a year later, it's like, why does this thing suck so bad and I can't play any of these new Steam games? Gotta upgrade. Well, it's just a PC. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said it's kind of like in between.
Should have just played Steam on your PC with your USB controller.
Which I will absolutely do. I mean, I can't wait to actually try out the Steam OS and just see what it's like and kind of maybe have that experience. And I guess for total techno nerds, you just go build a small PC to put as a media, like your own Steam box in your living room. Just do it yourself. I guess does a price factor come into this though for you guys? Like, what if the Steam? I don't even know if they've released any Steam prices. What if it comes in at a pretty low price point, like a $300, like a console, like a $300-$400 price point?
I could be wrong. I think I remember seeing something like 99-ish,
what?
maybe.
So that's how low it would have to be for me. If it's $300-$400, I'd rather get a console and do stuff on that.
I could be way off base.
I'm watching chat room because they'll hook us up.
They'll let me know if I'm wrong. Trust me. But
if that thing's $99, I change everything I just said and I'm buying 5.
yeah.
So
if it's Ouya priced, then
I'll buy one for every room at $100. Is that really the price? That would be crazy. That would actually change. That would actually change the game. But I don't see how. Like somebody in there saying, I don't know how it could be that cheap, but I don't, because how could it be that cheap? Like if you were to buy a new game today, Assassin's Creed or something, Black Flag.
How can you have the graphics and processing and everything? Yeah.
I mean, do you think that they're going to like limit the graphics quality that you can run on the Steam box when you download the game? It's like it only goes to like medium or some shit, and you're just like, I can't run this on ultra.
Why would you want it? Yeah, I mean,
but that's going to happen regardless, right? But
yeah.
what's the lifespan at 3 months that's going to happen? 6 months when that's going to happen? There's going to be a point where it just. Or are they going to lock it down and tell developers that's sort of what the OS does, and it doesn't even kind of offer you those options anymore with the games or something? Maybe it's going to be like a console where you don't even get those options when you download those games on a Steam box. I don't know if they can do that. Maybe they can.
Yeah.
That sounds like it would almost make more sense, right? Take all that away. Take the options of graphic quality completely away on the Steam box for players to never even see it, just like a console. Hey, it runs at what it runs at. What do you got this thing running out?
It's just a neutered console.
Yeah, what's your HDMI running out? What's your TV? 720, 1080? That's it. It's done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You guys want to talk about Star Citizen a little bit?
Sure.
All right.
Move it along.
Star Citizen. $28 million they've raised in crowdsourcing funding. Jesus. We're making a sci-fi MMO. I just announced it right now. My PayPal account is $28 million. And it just it's like they go up by about $1 million a month.
It's because they keep asking for more. They keep reopening their Kickstarter or whatever it is.
Well, and they keep
selling ships.
They keep adding new ships to buy, which is the reason why it keeps going up. They keep adding new, pre-item shop pieces for people to invest in, which keeps the flow of money coming into them. It's not something where it's just like,
I know
hey,
Burnsy, who's not here this week. He's bought in. He's bought his ship. I purchased my ship. I don't think you guys have bought into it. You guys are the two frugal ones, hanging out, waiting. I'm super excited for Star Citizen. Is it a full-blown MMO? That is up for debate. Kind of sounds like
I can't buy a ship and then also have to expect the fact that I gotta make sure my PC's top of the line 100% of the time. I don't make that much money.
Gotta do it, bro.
Ridiculous.
Better start hitting that bank, that sperm bank.
Oh God.
Wow.
I mean, Star Citizen doesn't call itself a complete MMO. I guess it's probably the closest thing, it's going to have a single player component, a whole campaign with a story and all that good stuff. And then it's going to have a multiplayer persistent world. We don't know exactly like how many players are going to live in these worlds as of yet. I don't think that's really nailed down, but they've pretty much said it doesn't look like it's going to be something that's like, thousands of players. Like we're used to in MMOs, and it doesn't look like it's going to be EVE with like, hundreds of thousands of players. It's going to be a bit smaller. Are you guys looking forward to Star Citizen though? Are you a fan of what they are doing and really trying to, I guess, sort of, bring back the real hardcore sci-fi space sim? Because it's really kind of it's a genre that existed in like, the 80s and then into the 90s a little bit, but it really died off. I mean, to this level of detail, at least.
Obviously, we're both excited.
Obviously, lack of response from nobody. Don't give two shits.
I didn't want to step on Jason's
Hey, Gannon,
toes.
there's a beta going on. We're 15 minutes past my window. Let's get off this freaking show.
I think I don't know. I never. You kind of talked about an era of when they were popular, right as I was kind of coming into playing video games. So I missed the whole hype around that genre. It's not one that's ever really. It's not one that I miss because I never really experienced it. I think the most sci-fi space shooter genre is I played like TIE Fighter on Mac back in 92, 95. I don't know. That's like the extent of it for me. And it was fun, but it wasn't, I didn't get to experience what they're doing with Star Citizen. Now, what they're doing with Star Citizen sounds amazing and really fun and cool if I had a crap ton of free time and a crap ton of money to make sure that my PC was top of the line.
Why do you feel like you need free time? I don't even know. What is that? Why do you need? But what is making you feel like you need?
To play video games, you need
no, but your statement of I need a crap ton of free time almost insinuates that you feel like it's going to be like this crazy in-depth, I got to live in this world kind of game. I don't really know if that's, I don't really get that from everything that I'm kind of like looking at with Star Citizen.
I think the thing is just with everything that it's offering is it looks like one of those games that you just want to live in. Whether it's not like this ever persistent kind of environment that you're doing, it just seems like it's one of those games that will really suck you in, and you just won't want to pull yourself away from it.
Well, let me ask you this: Are either of you guys are you guys fans of games that are much more sort of sandbox and simmy, where they're like really trying to get all the physics correct, like things are more sim accurate and correct rather than arcadey?
I mean, I definitely can see the appeal in that. I guess I don't know that it's necessarily something that I go out searching for necessarily. I guess when I look at Star
they're going for, you know, I mean, that's why people are hyped up about Star Citizen. I mean, you look at things like the number of polygons they're doing. I know these are like totally geek things where we're going down the rabbit hole of like, oh my God, polygons is great. But it's like sim people love the level of detail. Like they love the way the hatch door opens and closes. Like it's little shit like that like people totally geek out over. And I'm kind of one of those people. I kind of like that stuff a lot.
I think that might even just play with me. I'm not like I get that they're really cool. I'm not the type of player that's going to sit there and just like walk around my ship and be like, oh, look at that exhaust pipe. It looks so cool.
Can I tell you how many times?
Did Gary do that for like 2 hours?
I still do that. I still log into my hangar, and there's really nothing I can do in there. They've done some adjustments, some lighting changes and stuff, and I just kind of walk around and I just stare at it. I'm like, there's my ship.
And that's, I think, what we're getting to. Is it does seem like that kind of game where you are going to get yourself lost in it, because for all the money and for all the people that have invested in it already, and just the time they spent doing that, how much are they going to be crazy about it when it actually launches? There's going to be that upper crust or whatever that are just going to be absolutely batshit insane about it. See, I can see where you get the impression that
I may not be hosting any shows after that.
How many hours have you spent just looking at your ship? Not even playing the game. How many hours have you spent looking at your ship? I know.
But we are getting chat room. Before I answer this question, somebody in chat room told me there's the dogfighting module coming, I believe, right? Soon? Really soon. I'm totally gonna freak out when that comes out. Realistically, with being conservative, 4 or 5 hours.
So, and that's just taking the time to
that's
look
basically
at something.
That's basically walking around my ship, climbing up the ladder, walking on the scaffolding, going in and out of my ship, sitting down in the chair, spinning, looking at the controls. I can look at my legs. It's kind of nice. I've done that a bunch of times.
Gary, you want to know how
I've spun around in the
chair. I look at my legs.
Like,
I go like this. There they are. I found my legs. I see them.
How much do you have to pay a Kickstarter to do that, Mike?
It cost me $20 to look down at my legs on Kickstarter. Wow. There was another $20, so now I'm $40 in the hole.
You're not making me feel too good about my life right now. Your stretch goal. Yeah. You're not making me feel too good about my life right now, Mike Shafton.
Good.
Well, check this out. I love this quote. This is from Chris Roberts, the man behind Star Citizen. And he had this to say this week when they were talking about the console releases. He says, Star Citizen is a PC game. It will never be dumbed down for a lesser platform. We will not limit the input options or supported peripherals to the lowest common denominator. We will not pass on features and technology just because they will only run on some hardware configurations. Think we'd ever hear that? Of like,
much.
You think you'd ever hear EA or Ubisoft say something like that?
Probably not. Yeah, I think they just said that yesterday, didn't they? They came out and were like, "Look, Star Citizen's doing it. This is our new model."
I bet every indie developer says that until he gets a big enough check.
I am psyched. Cannot wait. You guys will come to the dark side, I am sure. I will convince both of you.
We'll watch the stream of you just walking around your ship. Just stream that, we'll watch it.
If I didn't have other places to go today and do, I would do that today. But we got shit to do. All right. Really quick. What are we talking about today? Let's talk about Shudder. Nah, I think it's Audible. Maybe it's Audible. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But Audible is awesome. I want to hook you guys up with a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. Audible.com/gamebreaker. And guess what, TWIMMO fans? They have Elder Scrolls books on Audible. Let's take a listen to Lord. I have no idea why we're talking about Elder Scrolls today, Jason, but I'm going to take a listen to this book.
Through him and then went on beyond his sight. But it might have been the agony taking him away. Yet the light remained, the images continued. He saw the doll again, lying near this time, on a little grey bed. Its head was porcelain, and not unlike 100 such likenesses of himself he'd seen over the years. The cloth of the torso was torn open, and the stuffing was coming out. As he watched, huge hands took up the doll and poked the stuffing back in, but there wasn't enough to fill it, so one of the hands vanished and returned with a wad of grey and shoved that in too, before sewing up the doll with a needle and thread. When all the stitches were made and pulled tight, a knife came down to cut it. He screamed as air sucked into his lungs and 1,000 pins seemed to sink into every inch of his flesh. He tried to vomit, but nothing came up, and he lay there sobbing, knowing nothing could ever be the same, that nothing would ever seem as bright or clean.
Check it out! Book 1 and Book 2 of Lord of Souls is on the Audible, and to receive your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook, all you have to do is make sure you use the URL audible.com/gamebreaker. Support Gamebreaker by supporting our sponsors, and we love having Audible on as a sponsor here at Gamebreaker. So go! Sign up, download the iOS device or your Android app to your phone or your smartphone or your device. Works on iPad as well. That's why I say device. Doesn't have to be a phone.
And if you put in that code, you'll get the extra bonus sound effects from Gary.
Yes. Did you like those? I added those in myself. I practiced all week on those. All right, let's talk about a little bit more Landmark. We had a big Landmark, EverQuest Landmark show last week. We talked about it at length. And we kind of chatted about a lot of the stuff that we're even confused about with EverQuest Next, and we kind of followed this stuff pretty extensively. Well, apparently, SOE are aware that we are all confused, which is a good thing. This is a positive thing. So here's a tweet from Director of Development, Dave Georgeson, and he said, going to record What is Landmark video. Hopefully, this will help. Smiley face. So I agree. I think they need to do more of this. I think it should almost become like a series. I mean, this was just yesterday from when we're recording this, so that was probably Thursday, and I hope they actually maybe I don't know if hopefully maybe one video will encapsulate the whole thing. But I like the idea of a video series because it's obviously just not us. It's not just the fans. So this is a good thing to kind of like start spelling out actually what is Landmark, how it differs from Next, and what we can sort of expect.
Yeah, we've been doing this since we first heard about Landmark. Or like, what's the difference between this and Next? We've had a lot of different theories and so on, and I guess we're not the only ones. They must be hearing this from a lot of different angles, and I wonder if they kind of knew this going in, if they thought, yeah, it's gonna be a little confusing, but we'll kind of do it as it goes along. We'll kind of teach them as it goes, or I wonder if they actually thought that we would straight up figure out this is Landmark and this is Next, and this didn't really occur to them until recently. I would hope that wasn't the case, but seeing as how it's taken kind of this long to get to this point, you have to wonder a little bit.
Shafty, you were in here last week. What do you think of the Landmark, or what you know of it, or what's your level of confusion?
I'm not as confused as what I think everybody else is, but I'm also not looking into the fine details of like, well, why are these two different, types of games? To me, like, I just look at it at its basic core. Landmark is going to be a game that's like Minecraft. EverQuest Next is going to be an MMO, all immersive world that kind of plays more like an MMO, and that's where their game's functionality core differences become. Yes, they're going to allow things from Landmark to transfer over into Next, and I'm not sure if they're doing anything back the other way. Like, I get the fact that these games are two very similar things, but again, like I said, I'm just looking at
I think
it
where the
in
confusion
simplest
lied for a
terms.
lot of us was that was the original reveal was it felt very much like a world builder, and we're going to take those things out of the world builder, and if it's really good stuff, we're going to put it into the EverQuest Next. And we all were like, yes, we totally understand. Then all of a sudden it was like, and there's going to be classes, and there's going to be combat, and there's going to be resources, and there's going to be NPCs, and it was like all the components of MMO started coming into it, and players started going like, huh? So like, okay, we're going to like, is there going to be questing? Like, that's like about the only thing right now that's not really there.
Is a game like Terraria anything like an MMO? No. So then take Terraria, add in classes, add in some of the fun stuff that we love from MMOs, but still understand that the game that you're playing is Terraria, and you get what Landmark is versus what Next will be.
Well, then why would I play Landmark or why would I play Terraria Next as opposed to basic Terraria?
Because some people I think people more like the idea of building, Terraria, Minecraft-esque of like, look, I can build here, I can explore here, and I know that, like, yes, again, that's going to exist in Landmark, but I truly think and understand that it's just different strokes for different folks. There's some people who are going to like Next. There's some people that are going to like Landmark. There's some people that are going to like both. Why play one over the other? Play the one you want to play because it's the one you get the most enjoyment out of. But I think
you're talking about that from a post-release factor. We're looking at speculation of trying to understand what these games are, and I think we're not the only ones here who kind of don't really know where the line gets drawn. Like, if it had stopped at a world building,
set the line.
No, they haven't. They why do you think they're making this video series?
But they're not. They're the core features of. And I get it, like, yes, they have plenty that they need to explain, and like I said, I'm not up to date on all of the features to understand how these are so similar that people are getting confused. I'm just looking at the core of the way that they presented what these games will be. That's the determining difference. Whether they have everything in that, like, between the two that's exactly the same, look at the way that the two types of games are played. MMOs and stuff like Minecraft are still played completely different from each other. And that's what's going to distinguish these two games as separate individual games. But again, I'm not staying up to date on everything, so I'm not getting lost in the convoluted everything that's out there.
I'm moving on. We slightly have confirmation that it might be coming to PS4. GamerHub TV. We talked about this last week, and there was a little bit of a blurb there where we were kind of like, wow, is this going to come to PS4? Well, Smed said, we haven't announced technically that we're putting it on the PlayStation 4, but it's fair to say that we're a Sony company. So I say that with a smile on my face. Can't wait to see it on a PS4. Again, here you go.
More MMOs coming to PS4.
Exactly. That was my next thing. And again, the whole world building aspect, I think I'd actually really like it. If the controls are really nice and quick and you can kind of build stuff and it don't feel fumbly as far as like finding all these different little tools that they're building. Again, I think I'd love to be building with a controller and my hand sitting on my couch.
Yeah, that's definitely more of a casual, sit back and just kind of enjoy yourself for a few hours kind of thing, as opposed to sitting at a keyboard and frantically whacking away on the keys. It definitely seems like it fits better for a console experience.
Pretty much confirmation that it's coming to PS4.
Yeah.
That's the we don't know yet.
Does this make you want to buy a PS4? Make you want to buy a
And
PS4?
I mean, yes. I actually was just kind of thinking about it. I was like, okay, well, if Destiny's coming out and this ends up on the PlayStation 4, then yeah, sure. Like 1 to 2 games. I bought a PlayStation 3 for Final Fantasy 13, and that game turned out to be crap. So I will buy a game. I will buy a console for a single game. There was just literally nothing for play. I was gonna buy it and put it in my closet. There was no reason for me to have a PlayStation 4 as of today, and there still isn't. So when there is a reason, yeah, I'll probably go back out and buy one.
Don't worry, Charon. We will not be using hashtag PS4 Master Race anytime soon. Mike Shafton, follow him on Twitter at Mike Shafton. Of course, make sure to go over and watch League of Legends Waypoint. You can find all the episodes either on Gamebreaker or at youtube.com/LOLNationTV. Jason Winter, follow him on Twitter at Winter Informal. And of course, right here on TWIMMO, which airs live. What?
Just wanted to bring up that there was a Lotro expansion this week.
Oh, there was.
Gotta mention
Yes. Yep.
How could we forget?
You guys. I haven't played it.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Gary Gannon, follow Gamebreaker TV, Gamebreaker TV, and of course we do the show live every Friday at 3 Pacific, so come on over for the live show. For all of you peeps who are lucky enough to be doing something fun this whole weekend, have fun, be good gamers, don't break NDAs, and we'll see you next